Well, howdy howdy. This is Cubbypotamus, and today I'm going to teach you about spraying underglazes. Now I get a lot of people asking about my glazes, how do I get color on the bottom and how do you glaze that? Well, it's not glazed, it's underglazed, so it doesn't stick to the kiln shelf, right? This particular pot is all underglaze and has a clear overglaze, shiny part, with, you see the white, kind of bluish white on there, that's boron bluing. That's part of the glaze, but most of this color comes from underglaze. And if you can spray your glaze, you can get nice variegation like that, and you can really blend it. And it's a very nice system, and it's also a nice maybe starting point for people who are looking to get into glazes, because this is pretty simple. Need less ingredients than you might if you were like mixing other glazes, but you just need lots of different mason stains, right? Now this is a mason stain, and I mix that with my underglaze powder, right? And stir it up. It's a simple recipe. It's kind of adapted from Mason Stain's underglaze recipe, but I have a few differences that I like, mostly in how you suspend it and how much Mason Stain you use. I mixed my underglaze powder with my underglaze base, right? And now I'm going to mix it up. Okay, now for this, I use this. This is a coffee frother, espresso frother. It is not strong enough to mix a lumpy glaze, but if you have smooth ingredients, it's very nice. It fits in the mouths of glaze jars, right? Which you can't do with an immersion blender, which is too big, and you lose a lot of glaze because it sticks to the blender or whatever, a lot of surface area, and underglaze is kind of expensive, right? So I have my Florentine green mason stain and my base, which is made out of like a soda feldspar, kaolin, ball clay, frit, 3124, and Ultrox or Zirco packs, and a pacifier. It's pretty nice. I have a recipe that substitutes frit 3134 for 3124, which has a lot of silica and alumina filler in it. And 3134 is usually more useful. So I'm going to mix that in there. Now I use about 90% water and 100 to 100 parts base to start, and then I usually thin it out to about the right consistency. You don't want it too thick for spraying. I think the original recipe used propylene glycol to make it more brushable, and CMC gum. I just use Magma as my suspension agent. I like that a lot better. Doesn't rot. And I also use much less mason stain than the recipe. It uses, I don't know, maybe 40 parts to 50 parts base. I use about a third of this is mason stain, so it's less mason stain, which makes it a lot cheaper. If you want to paint with it, right, you have to use more than one coat. It's not a one-stroke coverage, but it's also a lot cheaper, right? For Manganese Alumina Pink, this is under $3 for 6 ounces, while Mango That's more like $6.50. This stuff's about $15 for the stain, about a quarter pound, while the pink is only about $5, right? And I can probably make a quart of black underglaze for probably less than $10. Commercial underglaze about $30. This is much better, but it's also more expensive. And when you have as many colors as I do, I think I have 21 different colors, you know, that adds up, right? So I kind of spread my underglaze out a little bit, or my mason stain out a little bit, so I can get about 3 6-ounce jars per quarter pound, right? So, yeah, it's fairly economical, right? And it's not glazed, so you don't have to give it 3 coats, so you can use less, right? And then just use your, like a base glaze. I like a more fluid glaze. I like the boron in there. Right, no fishy. See, there's your boron bluing, and this guy is all underglaze. So yeah, I mix that up, and I spray it, which is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. I think when you try spraying glazes, brushing just sucks, and so does dipping. Spraying's a little harder to get the thickness, but with underglazes you don't need that. And maybe if I had a more runny clear, maybe it might spray a little better. I don't know. I'm okay with brushing that. Okay, now I use a California Air Tools 1-gallon compressor. It's pretty light duty, but it works well, and it's only about 60 decibels loud. Most of the other small ones are 80 or 90. They're pretty noisy. This ain't great, but it's a lot better. And it's portable. It's only like 35 pounds. Doesn't take up too much space, about $160. Not bad, not bad. I use a Chick Tool Easy, I think, spray gun. It's pretty nice, only about $25. And I made a adapter for it, right? These are the normal jars, right? And I cut one off and used plastic glue to glue the these lids on there, right? So I can put my 6-ounce bottles on my spray gun, which is awesome, right? So I have all of these, and I think you can get like 42 jars for like $26, right? Get all your jars. You can get that rack there for I think around $30. I'm gonna link all this stuff, right? So it's really nice, and it's really easy to change glazes. It's just so much easier and more convenient than you might think, and cheaper. Yeah, I love it. And it's just a lot simpler, you know. I'm only using one recipe for all this, for my base, so you only have to troubleshoot like one recipe. I got 21 colors, that's very nice, pretty efficient. Get on there. Yeah, okay. There, and I spray that on there, right? Okay. And let's have the fun. Okay, so I have a little turntable here, right? My spray gun. See how easy that goes on? That's quite wonderful. Okay, so I want to hit the bottom, or the next color. I'll use a little mango color, so here's how easy it is to change the glazes. Okay, so I want to go mango and do kind of a flame thing. All I have to do is wipe that off. I can put that in there and just spray some of the extra glaze with water, and I also made a tool to unplug my thing. You have to unplug the thing. It's gravity feed, or not gravity feed, Venturi feed, and it's nice because you don't have to screw a jar on there, right? And then just put it in there like that, spray water, and humidify the room if you want to. Try tangerine next, and add my next layer. Buddy. Okay, and I will add more things to that, but you get the basic idea. It's a very quick way to change things. And it's not that expensive, and you can get, pretty great results. It's very nice being able to put color on the bottom of your pots. It's kind of like having the ability to make your clay any color you want. Now, I am doing this on greenware. I will bisque fire it later, and then from that I can do brushwork. I can do a lot of things. I can work with my glazes, I can bubble glaze, I can paint on there, but the first thing I like to do is color my clay with spraying underglazes. Right. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I'll put links for stuff, my maybe supplies, and some ideas, but I guess the big thing is that it really isn't that hard. It seems kind of intimidating, and you probably need to do it outside or to have a spray booth, right? Now, mason stains aren't quite as toxic as oxides, and they're a lot simpler. They don't affect your expansion, really, because they're sintered, right? They'll make a big batch of this stuff and grind it up into powder, right? So, good old peacock, right? That's chrome oxide plus cobalt carbonate. It's a very strong one, and you only need about half as much of this to make it. To make something as vivid, as other ones, and that varies how much you need. You have to kind of figure that out with each mason stain. Yeah, so they're sintered, so they don't work on adversely affect the expansion. I made one with chrome oxide, have a nice green one. I think oxides you can probably use. These have an expansion of about 6.4, which is good glaze for like B-mix and stuff, but it also doesn't melt completely and doesn't fit into the melt, right? So your silica is going to expand instead of contracting when it doesn't go into solution, whatever, I don't know. But I don't have problems with crazing, you know, and you know, my colors are protected by a clear, right? So that kind of, I think, helps with loose oxides or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so that is my spray glaze system. Feel free to use my ideas or come up with your own. But it just works very well, and it's cheap, and you can have so many colors for not that much money, right? Okay, well, this was Cubbypotamus, and thank you for watching.